Now we will move from the water lever to the water that of the another topic on the water anatomy. But here it is not an organ. We will go to the water superior boundary of the water abdominal cavity. So that thing is called the diaphragm. Now diaphragm is a what it is almost all dome shaped structure. The one which will be forming the water superior limit of the water that of the abdominal cavity. Now this diaphragm will be going to have a two domes. One is a what right dome, another is a what left dome. Now this diaphragm is a aponeurotico-muscular sheet. Now this, as being it is a musculo-aponeurotic or aponeurotico-muscular sheet, it will be going to have the water, some portions of the muscles and some portions of the water aponeurotic. Now the what are the you can say parts or of the water musculatures. So the muscular part, so this will be the water muscle. So what I am drawing, so you will be going to have this is how it will be the muscles. This is the muscular part. It will be there like this is the front view. This is the front view. Then if you have the lateral view, so you will be going to have like this. This is what the gypoid. So it will be there like this. This is what the lateral view. So this will be the water body part of the sternum. This is the gypoid. Process of sternum. So this is the what the thing in the lateral view. So this is what the vertebrae is. So here also you have got vertebrae. So these are the thoracic vertebrae. This is the water lumbar vertebrae. How you will be going to get into the things. Now this you can say diagram. Muscular part of the water that of the diaphragm has got the water some subdivisions. Now those subdivisions you have got the water lumbar fibers, then you will be going to have the water arcuate fibers, then you will be going to have the water that will be costal fibers, then you have got the water gypoidal fibers. So these are the things. Now we will go to the water lumbar fibers. The lumbar fibers are those which will be going to take origin from that of the, you can say, sides of the water, that of the lumbar vertebrae, and as well as the water, you have got the two arcuate lines. One is the water medial arcuate line. This is the medial arcuate line or an arch. Now one more will be there, that is the water lateral arcuate line or an arch. Few fibers are going to take origin from those medial and lateral arcuate lines. Those are called the arcuate fibers. Lumbar fibers will be going to run straightway upwards from the body portions, and then it will be going to join to the water remaining fibers such as medial arcuate fibers and the lateral arcuate fibers as well as the costal fibers, and then in long run it will be going to join to the water indirectly to the water gypoidal fibers. Gypoidal fibers, they may be going to said to be as a sternal fibers because gypoid is a part of that of the sternum. So that is what. Now you will be going to get the water that of the costal fibers. Costal fibers are those which will be going to take origin from the inner aspect of that of the ribs, especially the lower. Those are the costal fibers. Costal fibers are the what majority. Now these costal fibers are running towards medially or towards inner aspect to produce the water that of the some domes or tent-like things. These will be going to join to not only the lumbar fibers and the arcuate fibers. Arcuate fibers medially and laterally. They will be going to join to the water. From below they will be, as these costal fibers are running inwards and then runs down, they will be going to join these two, lumbar and the what medial lateral arcuate fibers. While this you can say costal fibers, so they will be going to run forwards, so it will be going to join to the what sternal fibers or the gypodal fibers of the diaphragm. Then you have got the gypodal fibers of the water that of the diaphragm, which will be there. It will be going to run, you can say, straight away from the posterior surface of that of the you can say diaphragm, posterior surface of that of the gypoid process of the water part of the sternum runs backwards to join to the water, not only the what costal fibers mainly, then indirectly it will be going to join to the water that of the arcuate fibers and the lumbar fibers. Now after having had this, you can say all the fibers meeting from the water right and from the left at the central part, they will be going to have the what one whitish portion. Now this whitish portion, what is termed as central tendon of diaphragm. Now this central tendon of the diaphragm is almost all present in the center, in the mid part of the water that of the diaphragm, and this central tendon is a fusion of all the you can say fibers of the water that of the diaphragm. Now this is totally a whitish and aponeurotic, hence it is called as a centrally placed, hence it is called as the central tendon of the diaphragm. Now this you can say diaphragm has got the right and the left. So right dome and the left dome. Right dome is a little bit higher than the what left because of the levers. So this will be the thing how it will be there. Now you have to go to the right dome of the diaphragm. Right dome of the diaphragm is separating from the diaphragmatic surface of the water that of the right lobe of the lever, as well as the very small portion of the water diaphragmatic surface of the left lobe of the lever, very smallest part. Diaphragmatic in the sense anterior surface, superior surface and the posterior surface, even the water right lateral surface of the diaphragmatic surface of the lever which is there, that is separating from this right dome with having a covering of parietal part of the pleura, parietal part of the water peritoneum and the visceral part of the peritoneum from the under surface of or inferior surface of or the base of right lung and the pleura that which covers, that is you will be having a two, one is called as what is said to be as a parietal pleura, another is the visceral pleura. This is for this. Now let us will go to the left dome. The left dome of the diaphragm, it is the one which will be separating from the water that of the you can say parietal part of the peritoneum. This is parietal part of the peritoneum and the water that of the visceral part of the peritoneum from the base of or inferior surface of left lung as well as line is a what? Left dome of diaphragm. So this is the right. So you have got the, this is what is the, your you can say peritoneum parietal, and this is called as the visceral part of the peritoneum. How that thing will be separating both. So this will be the thing what you can get. For the, this is what the relation, and this you can say left dome, even it will be separating, This is what is said to be as the inferior surface of heart, which will be separating from the this one is said to be as a definitely, this is a pericardium fibrous, and the what these both will be said to be as, going to said to be as these serous pericardium. Serous pericardium has got two. This is what is said to be as a parietal pericardium. Orange will be the visceral pericardium. From the what that of the left dome of the diaphragm and as well as the central tendon of the diaphragm. So this is what, how you will be going to get into the things. Now after getting into the right and the left dome, now you have to go to the what is central tendon of the diaphragm. Now the central tendon of the diaphragm, already it has been talked, this central tendon of the diaphragm is centrally and it is there in the middle, hence it is called as the central tendon of the diaphragm, and it is totally about whitish aponeurotic fibrous. Now at this central tendon of the diaphragm there are the what openings. Now those openings are said to be as a one esophageal opening. Then you will be having a what aortic opening. Then you will be having a inferior vena cava opening. All three O's are there. All three O's, but for the different things. From the what that of the esophageal orifice, which is there situated at the level of that of the upper borders or the lower borders approximately of the 10th thoracic, which will be thoracic part of the esophagus continues as the what abdominal part of the esophagus. Along with this orifice, thoracic part of the esophagus will be going to pass into the water that of the abdominal part to become as abdominal part of the esophagus. Along with this through this orifice, along with the what thoracic part of the esophagus, where ends and continues as the what abdominal part. With this abdominal means esophagus, the left vagus and the right vagus. Right vagus will be behind, left vagus will be in front. Then left gastric artery, from the abdomen it goes into the water thoracic. After supplying the water that of the stomach, and then one branch it will be going into the water that of the esophageal branch goes into this, from leaving the abdomen and then into the thoracic part to supply the further anastomosis. Then the what esophageal vein, which will be supplying the lower part of the thoracic, it will be going to come and leaves the thorax and enters into this. Then lymph vessels, afferent, efferent, they leave the water that of the thoracic part and then it enters into this, especially the esophageal, and then goes and joins to the what left gastric. Already you have got the what left vagus will be there in front and the right vagus will be there behind. In the what that of the esophageal orifice in the diaphragm, which is there approximately at the level of lower border of 10th or the upper border, especially that will be the thing. Now you have got the abdominal part of the water, aorta, which will be leaving the what, or aortic orifice is meant for traversing of the water, that is the thoracic part of the water, abdominal thoracic part of the aorta continuing as the water, abdominal aorta at this, along with the what thoracic part of the aorta when it ends and continues as the what abdominal aorta at this, through this orifice, hence the name aortic orifice. When the aorta thoracic part allows to pass through this to become as abdominal part, but behind this abdominal aorta there will be a what, one you can say thing will be also running, that will be the what is called as a thoracic duct will be going to run into this here. This will be there at the level of lower border of theta. This will be there approximately at the level of lower border of 10. Now you will be going to have this. There will be a what? Inferior vena cava orifice of inferior vena cava. So inferior vena cava collects the deoxygenated blood from the pelvis, from the abdomen and from the water lower limb via the corresponding main venous trunk, and it runs in the abdomen to become an abdominal part of the inferior vena cava, and then continues as the water thoracic part of the inferior vena cava. Now this will be there at the level of lower border of thoracic 8. Thoracic 8. So this will be the thing that what you will be going to get into this. So now with having all these orifice of the inferior vena cava, through this you will be going to get the what, some tributaries are also going to run. Now after having had this, what is the blood supply for the water? This of the, you can say, diaphragm. Blood supply for the diaphragm is by phrenic arteries. Phrenic artery. There are two, superior phrenic and the inferior phrenic. Inferior phrenic, they are the branch of that of the aorta, abdominal aorta. Two are there, right side, left side. They are the pairs. They are the pairs. Now you will be going to have the what, venous drainage, corresponding veins. Superior phrenic, inferior phrenic. Inferior phrenic, they drains and opens into the inferior vena cava, while the superior, which are the what, paired for the what, descending part of the thoracic aorta, on the right and left both. Venous drainage, superior phrenic veins, which will be going to on the right side, it is a vena azygos. On the left side, left superior phrenic, they will be going to get open into the azygos and the hemiazygos veins. Okay, so this is the vena. Lymphatic, corresponding phrenic group of lymph nodes, superior, inferior. Inferior will be going to go and opens into the thoracic duct. I mean to say, beginning of the thoracic duct and the cisterna cala. While the superior phrenic lymph vessels, they will be going to get open into the directly into the thoracic duct. Thoracic duct. Nerve supply for this is by the phrenic nerves. Is by the phrenic nerve. Having a root valves, C3 and C4 spinal. So this will be the thing. Now what is the action of this? Action of the water, that of the diaphragm. It will be going to become contract and relax at the various phase of the water respirations. That's the main thing. So thereby Another name for this diaphragm is a phrenic. Then it is also called as the respiratory diaphragm. Now what is the applied anatomy of this? If it is paralyzed, there will be a what? Some disturbance in the what? Respiration. That is what another applied anatomy I am talking. Then this will be supplied by the phrenic. If any, you can say that phrenic nerve is damaged, so there will be a what? Paralysis of this phrenic. Another applied anatomy for this, through these openings, if any thoracic contents, they will be going to protrude. They are called as the what? Diaphragmatic hernias. Diaphragmatic hernias, such as esophageal hernia, aortic hernia, and the what? Inferior vena cava hernias. So these are the herniations. Because those laxity of that orifice is there, so then you will be leading into the what? Hernias. So these are the things. Then there will be a surgical things. Under the right dome there will be a what? There will be a lever. Lever access can go into the what? Thorax, piercing the what? Right dome. Then on the left side, you know already that left dome of the diaphragm is separating from the what? That of the parietal pleura and the what? Parietal, you can say peritoneum, and the what? Visceral peritoneum from the base of the what? Right lung and the what? Parietal and the visceral pleura, as well as the what? Parietal, I mean to say fibrous pericardium and serous pericardium. Serous will be having a two. One is the parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium from the inferior surface of the heart, from the abdominal content such as the diaphragmatic surface of the spleen and the what? Fundus part of the stomach. The meaning, the fundus part of the stomach and the diaphragmatic surface of the what? Spleen, they are separating from the left dome of the diaphragm, as well as parietal part of the peritoneum, visceral part of the peritoneum, left dome of the diaphragm, having above the base of the left lung, parietal and the visceral pleura, inferior surface of the heart, pericardium, fibrous, then the what? Serous. Serous will be having a two. One is a parietal and another is a visceral. So like this, the thing what you will be separating. So any disease of that of the spleen go into the what? Lung via the what? Perforating left dome. Even it can go to the what? Heart, and the what? Disease can go into the what? Pericardial disease by means of any metastasis of the what? Spleen and then stomach by means of piercing the what? Left dome of the diaphragm. But prior to that, it has to go to the parietal part of the peritoneum, visceral, then it can go and tax the what? Your pericardium, fibrous, then the serous. Serous will be having a parietal and the visceral, and then goes to the heart. So this is what for. So this is what the metastasis wise. Now you will be going to get the what? any of the wounds by the shark, it can pierce the water diaphragm and goes to the water, affecting, perforating the water, that of the thoracic content. For the lung, right, left, on the left side if it is any wound, and even it can goes to the water, heart also, direct oozing of the blood. So that may be the thing. This is what from here to here abdomen, because you are going from the abdomen to the thorax. Now from the thorax into the water, abdomen also sometimes it may come, any infections. Piercing the right and left dome, from the thorax to the abdomen, either the lung or the heart. So pericardial diseases are also going to come towards the left, right only the pleural diseases. So like this way, these are the applied anatomy for the diaphragm. With this, diaphragm is also finished. So diaphragm will be usually asking for the what? 5 marks. But orifices in the water, that of the diaphragm, and the structures which are transmitting from those orifices, it may come for the 3, like mention the structure passing through and through the diaphragmatic orifice. Those diaphragmatic orifices are 3. You have to write that. Okay. With this, diaphragm is finished. Thank you.